Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw tips and tricks. Somebody sent me this clip art of a spider web and they want to learn how to draw one that's not perfect. And I kind of did it. It came out pretty good. I even added a spider to it. I don't know if they want a spider or not. So all I did was take a 2-point line and I went from the center outwardly. Normally I would, just rotate from the center, but I'm going to rotate from here because I don't want them to be perfect. So I'm going to Control D to make a duplicate, and I'm going to rotate that guy. It doesn't matter what degree, but then I'm going to change this because I don't want it to be perfect. And then I'm going to Control D, and I can change it, change one back. We can go over here and go Control D and move it quite a bit. Control D, Control D, Control D, and you see where I'm going. I'm just going to go ahead and make them all the way around and then change some of these, maybe even add another line, on the ones between. Let's just go from that node outwardly, this node outwardly, and we'll do one more toward the bottom. Anyway, I'm going to group these together, Control G. I'm going to make them black. And then I'm going to use, I didn't select them all, make them black. And that also means I don't have them all grouped together. And I'm already off one line. So I'm going to take my shape tool and move that line right to the center. Now I'm going to regroup them. Control G, that might come into play later. Then I'm going to take my 3-point curve line. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to kind of make the other parts and not make them perfect. But I want them pretty much on the same plane. I don't want them too far off. But I can make the curve at the top or the bottom or the middle. And so we'll make this one like in the middle. We'll make this one closer to this side. We'll make this one closer to that side. So I think I missed the mark right there. So let me zoom in. And if you ever did that, just take your shape tool and just have it click to that line. Get your 3-point curve line back and just go from that node to that node and that node to that node. And the only thing I really did kind of different in mine is because you want it to be, even though a spider web is probably perfect, you don't want it too perfect. So I actually use the perspective tool here in just a minute to give it a little bit of perspective. And the reason I grouped those things together is because I want to be able to ungroup this in a second or move these in a second, because I want to be able to, let's see, set our nudge factor on 18, that ought to be big enough. I'm going to nudge that out of the way. And I am going to Control D and make a duplicate. While holding down the Shift key, it should grow from the centrally out. And then Control D. Well, I must not have control. Oh, I was hitting it. I was watching the screen. I wasn't watching the keyboard. Okay. Let's put it back where it was. Control D, and then hold down the Shift key. I was holding down the Shift key for everything. Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D. Now, we can put our lines back, but sometimes they won't really fit. See how they're just off a little bit? And it's just because of the way we did it. So we're just going to make new lines. And I already don't like it as much as I did my first one. But take what we're going to do right now, we're going to select it all, and we're going to right-click black. Then I'm just going to take a 2-point line. Now, we can't really go from the center because of the fact that we don't have anything to base it off of to get all the nodes done. So I'm just going to go from the ones we have I guess I could have gone to that one. I don't know why my second one's not coming out as good as my first, but you know, you'll get the idea. I have no artistic ability whatsoever. And really, I didn't put cobwebs all the way to the center. You could, you just can't do it right now because you have nothing to, you know, if you're going to put these cobwebs in on these points, this is about the only way to do it. Now, you can't expand them later and expand the lines out, but I just left mine without the center. And maybe if he was drawing it, he could put the actually spider in there. But your lines that you originally drew will not conform to this. They really should, but they don't. Now, it'll look a lot better when I make everything black. For some reason, I didn't get that line again. There we go. Now, what I did do, I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. I'm going to make it like, boy, I'm using somebody else's file and I can't stand not to use points because I know more about points than I do about millimeters. So now we're going to go millimeters. You know, it all depends on how big it is. Probably 6 will do it. You know what? I didn't have it all. I didn't have it all. You know, and like I always say, there's no 6, but you can type in 6 and get to 6. That doesn't look too bad. But what I did do different, well, one, I elongated the lines that I should have. You know, you could still elongate the lines. It's just, and I guess in a cobweb, it's not going to matter if they're perfectly on those nodes. And, you know, this is why it would probably be better to work with it as a hairline. Let's make it back to hairline because you can see those points better. Well, and we're even going to change our, when we're doing this, see, you can't really see the line. You can't, well, we can if we happen to hit the right one. I'm not doing a very good job of teaching this, but you know, it's just hard to get that line. But what I want to get to is I want to show you the perspective tool, and you can always put it back. And if you have snap tool on, you can always, that node should ride right to it. You know, shouldn't matter. And it makes it, now we're making it a little bit, see, I'm a little bit off. It should snap right to that node. And I am making my spider web a little less conforming. Now, how come I can grab the line now? Got lucky. Well, I'm going to quit being lucky and just be, you know, and still put it back. But because what I want to get to is I want to show you the perspective tool and how it could help you. Now I'm getting where I'm, and there's a couple ways I should have done this too. Not very proud of myself. All right, let's make them all black again with the pick tool. Well, they are black. Let's make them that 6 points. See, there's no 6 point, but you can type in 6. Now, let's group this together. I think I just grouped it together. Let me move that out of the way. Let me Control G to group it. Then if you happen to, I don't know what year perspective tool started. It's been around a while, but add a perspective. And now you can change the look of your spider web in just that fast. You know, you can make it completely different. And then, of course, I just went to the web and went to Google and typed in clip. You see, I actually looked at a web also, but I just typed in Google spider. I go to images. I went to tools. I went to size. I went to large. And just to cut some out, I went to color and I went to black and white. And there's the one I went. Right click, copy image, bring it into Corel, paste. It's huge, that's what I picked. I picked a huge file. Reduce it in size to make Corel a little easier. Trace bitmap, outline trace clip art. It did it that fast. Well, it will do it that fast. And you're done. And there's no white, there's no box. We can bring in a yellow. We can bring in a yellow box trick just to show you. And I apologize, I ought to be zooming in. Order, back a page, and you see no black. Really sharp spider. And then, of course, you could turn him upside down. I don't know why you would, but I think he's going away from the spider or from his web. And then you could just take a 2-point line and he could just be building his nest. You know, you could actually attach it to anywhere, make it black, make it the 6 points. Just type in 6. And there you have a spider on a web, if he wanted a web. I don't like that. I should have come off of maybe just come off of one of the other ones. Or just have him on the web somewhere independently. That looks probably pretty good. But the perspective tool, I mean, this is a nice one. I still think my first one's better. But just to give you some ideas, I mean, you could try the Pentagon tool and all these different tools to create this shape, but I think that looks pretty good. Anyway, I hope that helped him with some ideas, and thank you for watching.